guys, it's Purger here, and today we got a special video for the HP 700-214. Now, in the past, I modified this HP into a gaming PC, but that was kind of an old spec build. This one is a brand new AM4 CPU build. I'm excited to announce Sleeper A. This is what I'm calling it, because the point is to see how well old cases hold up to newer hardware. Now, the interesting part about this is one of those cases that don't offer traditional modern air cooling, such as like this one, where you can put multiple fans in front and on top, and provides for a better airflow design. These, they didn't really have really powerful hardware, so they only relied on the ventilation from the case, as it was an open air cool without the pushing air in. So one concern I do have is thermal throttling. With all the components we're putting in there, it may have the potential to overheat. And if that happens, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to modify the case to where it can have some fans. Either that or get a new case. For right now, I'm gonna start to build the PC. So see, there's not really any way you can put fans in this. These clips. Take the faceplate off. Come on. Right, got the faceplate off. Here's some disk drive. Okay, so this unit actually has a faulty USB on the top. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is, well, actually the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of this Wi-Fi antenna and Bluetooth, because this previously went into the SATA Wi-Fi and then Bluetooth antenna that went to the old motherboards of this computer, but since we have a built-in one to the motherboard we don't really need these anymore, so I'm going to get rid of these and replace this USB wire. These are good, it's just I gotta get rid of these. Alright, got my screwdriver, and just gonna get rid of, all it really is a metal plate on top of the case. They did a good job at hiding them. I mean, some cases nowadays they give you a antenna in the back of your computer, but I respect this way because you don't really see it, but these are less powerful too, so alright, so this is a USB 3.0 and a audio 9-pin cable. These are holding it in right now, so I can't get it out. Okay, just those pins and it can come out. Alright, now I gotta pry the assembly open. Alright, off camera I got it open. All it really is just a hard wire to the motherboard. Okay. So, yeah, it seems like the wire was damaged. I bought a replacement. I couldn't really find the ones that didn't have some sort of mount on them, so what I'm gonna have to do is probably cut them off. Alright. Might have to cut the side pieces off. I made a modification to the case, and I also cut the ends off of the side, so it should fit perfectly fine now. Oh yeah, it fits perfect. Perfect. You know, it fits a little tight, but that's okay. I'm gonna test fitting the connections in. Oh, I see why they made everything go down on it. Okay, it's in there. This build is for a customer, and for his motherboard, I decided to go with the MSI B550M Mortar Max Wi-Fi. This is a DDR4 AMD motherboard. I'm very familiar with MSI, so I like their motherboards. All the usual back features. Comes with two M.2s, two PCIe 16s, and I think that's two PCIe 1 slots. So this should be a really interesting setup. Also got him a 5800X CPU, so he should be rocking a pretty decent system. Oh. SATA wires, antenna for the Wi-Fi. I think that's a micro cloth. No, that's a sticker. Motherboard driver, seat. Oh, more stickers. I put it on a pillow so it don't damage the back when I install it. This is an MATX motherboard. And the back. It has a variety of ports. 3 USBs, 1 USB-C, 4 USBs actually. So let's get this set up. So one of the things I need for the CPU is to put the bracket on it. Now I'm gonna have to take these default ones off. So for his cooler, I went one of Thermalright's classic low-profile CPU coolers. This is a 6-pipe heat design. It comes in a really excellent presentation right here. This is the screws and bracket and stuff. While the bottom comes with documentation, fan, and a metal heatsink. And it's a low profile grills. That sits on the CPU, and the heat transfers through those 6 pipes. So I'm not actually going to put the cooler on yet. I'm going to get it all installed on here and put it in the case before I put it there, just so I can see if it fits everything without obstructing anything. So alright, let's put the bracket on. Alright. Take these little plastic things off. So there's this little back plate right there. We're going to keep that on. Comes with AM4 and the flat ones are Intel. Installation instructions. Comes with the sticker to put on your case and the CPU. So there's a certain way you gotta install a CPU if you didn't know. You see, depending on the motherboard, they'll always have like a dot that they'll indicate that that's the corner. So what you want to do is you want to look at your CPU and look for a dot. And the dot is very, very small on this corner. So to put it into this motherboard, I rotate it. That's just for new beginners, if you're new. Most people know this when they build PC. They're always building PCs. Y'all know, but this is for the new people who may want to do it themselves. And I wasn't able to see it, but it turns out this mount is put on wrong. Yep, it's too far from the back. Let me turn the mount around. Paying attention right there. Oh yeah, it definitely touches the CPU. I like it. Storage, I decided to go with a 1 terabyte and a 2 terabyte. I have other storage devices going in this build, but for the M.2s, I got these two for them. These are the best Western Digital SSDs you can get. The speed is at 7,300 megabytes per second. This is going to be his system drive, and this is going to be his gaming drive. So Windows is going on this one, and gaming's going on this one. That's so he can not slow down, obviously, but let's get his SSDs in. Come with the M.2 screws. Alrighty. So for his RAM, I decided to go for a 32 gigabyte kit. These are both 16 kits. Each card 8 gigabytes individually, so I had to get 2 of them. These are clocked at 3600 mega transfers, and they're pretty decent for editing and gaming altogether. Alright, the RAM's installed, CPU, and the storage drive. All I gotta do is just put it in the case. Right before I put the motherboard in the case, I actually do need to put the power supply in. So for the power supply, I decided to go with an MSI A850GF 850 watt power supply. And I decided to go with something different than the EVGA. Because, you know, let's face it, every PC build I've put with this is EVGA, even with this one. So I figured I would change it up. So see what other products like this one have to offer. The back, it shows you your wires, your charts, the back of the power supply, what it supports, SATA, VGA for your graphic card, CPU, motherboard. So this is the wires. Yep. This is a fully modular power supply, so pick what you want, do what you don't, or don't do what you don't. Tells you the VGAs for the graphics. Smells brand new. That's a nice, clean power supply.
Okay, I like it. Well, there's no way to really put the logo upright. I mean, I tried turning it around and same result. So it's just the case is a little weird. Graphics. I'm gonna make sure it clicks. I just can't because I gotta click it off camera. Alright, everything's connected. Alright, power supply is installed. Next thing to do is get the motherboard set up. Okay, so it turns out the motherboard is actually pretty big, so I have to actually move this extender right here to a different spot. So I got the motherboard in. Now all I gotta do is just take this back plate off so we can get the Elgato in. So I'm giving him my old Elgato 4K 60 Pro. This should enable him to record games off his Xbox Series S. I didn't really need it because I'm sticking more to PC and I can just stick to software, but decided to give him this $499 Elgato. So you're welcome, Aaron, if you're watching this video. Just carefully pry this away. Alright, that's in there. Well, when I was putting in the power cables, I noticed it didn't give me a CPU power wire in the box, so I'm gonna have to order one. Guess just plug the rest of the stuff in and put this on standby for later. This is our case power wire and LED. It goes to JFP1. I'm looking for a USB 2. There's no USB 2. I don't see it anywhere, so I guess I'm just gonna have to plug it into the third USB right there. Okay, so that wire going into there, and this one are the two front USBs. So we're gonna plug that in, and the USB 3.0 wire. Okay, so I got those two SATAs in there. It's hard to see, but it was very hard. I had to do it off camera, but I got two SATAs for the two SSDs that's going in here.
But first, I'm going to get the cooler set up.
The cooler comes with its own thermal paste, and I do like using the MX6, but it also comes with a decent Thermalright. Comes with their own brand. So this is actually a good thermal paste if you did want to use, but I'm going to use this since I've already been using it, and just to get rid of it. So take this off, just put it in there. Okay. Perfect. Just gonna put the clips on.
Well, got the clips on. It basically just hugs the heatsink.
Now all I gotta do is get the GPU in.
But first, let's get the storage devices. So my choice for this was the Vulcan VT-Force standard SSD. It's 500 megabytes per second on the read and writes. So it's a pretty slow hard drive. It's not recommended for games, although the label does say it's a gaming solid state drive, but it's for older systems back when they had a 500 megabytes per second recommendation spec.
And voila, we have two SSDs.
So right before I actually assembled the SSDs, I put the GPU in there. That's just to set it up real quick, because the 7800 XT doesn't come in until later on this week. It's my old 6600 XT The editing got kind of out of order, so that's why it's mismatched like that.
Okay, so I got this set up on this screen. And what I'm going to do is set up the BIOS, get it set up, and then install Windows, and then by the time we get the GPU, it should be ready to go. Let's see how the first boot up goes. Doesn't seem to be working. Alright, for some reason it won't power on, so I'm gonna try this power supply. Alright, so it turns out this is a faulty power supply unit. Not surprised. Yeah, it's running. I already took the power supply out of this one to see if this one worked. So, might as well take the GPU and get it set up. We're just on this GPU for right now, and then when I get the other GPU, I'll put it in there. This is the 6600 XT by X of X. Alright, let's set him up with the correct DDR speed. Let's see if we can detect everything. Okay. Before we get Windows on there, we want to update the BIOS. Right now it's in 2023. You want a 2024 version. To do this, you need to have a USB flash drive and another computer. At least if you do it the USB way. Some computers allow you to do it through their motherboard driver software. This one did too, I just didn't realize it until later. So there's actually two ways to update BIOS. One pre-set up before Windows and one after, if you need to update it later. So it's very important to know that once you're in a BIOS update, it's very crucial that you don't lose power to the system, otherwise it will break your motherboard. So don't update on a rainy day when you can lose power. But anyway, now all we gotta do is get Windows.
You're a really great guy. No, I'm serious.
What is up, guys? So it's been about 2 weeks. The GPU finally came in, and we're gonna uninstall the old GPU and get the new GPU in. That's Pristella. Everyone say hello to Pristella. But getting back to the video, we went with the AMD Radeon RX 7800 XT, the 16GB card. There should be no difficulty in scaling most games up to the highest setting without any frames going below 100. But you know, you got some games that don't do well, that are really high demanding. But 16 gigabytes is a lot. So I heard the Pulse cards were pretty good from the Sapphire brand. But it has Radeon Boost and anti-lag, so that should help with speeding up things and being responsive on Call of Duty.
Ooh, Ooh. Wow. Okay. Alright. This card is bigger than I thought it was. See, I gotta straighten out all this wiring. Alright, so I got it in there and I got way better cable management, so it should be great. Now we're ready to get some gaming in and performance. So let's see what the performance looks like on this card. We're on Black Ops 6 right now, but we're going to be reviewing 7 different games here, and one of them is obviously Black Ops 6. The next one, Starfield, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, X-Defiant, Fortnite, and Microsoft Flight Simulator. These are a good mix of very demanding games. Let me know of what game you want me to test in the future. But as you can see here, Black Ops 6 is running 150 to 170 FPS. When I was playing Starfield, it gave me a little less performance. But it's not bad performance, it's just I expected a little higher. It's going over 60 FPS all the way to 70. It's still a great performer. And this is at an ultra all the way high 4K performance. So if you wanted higher frame rate, you could scale down just a little bit. However, you don't have to worry about scaling down with Star Wars Jedi Survivor. 4K, we're running about 90 to 110 frames per second. Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown is a high demanding game, and actually it did just a little bit poorly in this test. With everything on Ultra, it only got up to 40 FPS. It was consistent, so it was really smooth. On X-Defiant, this is the place for some people who don't like Call of Duty. It got up to 50 FPS and even 60. All these games are pretty much running on the highest setting just to see how high you can get the performance out of this PC build. Fortnite has ran a perfect 80 to 100 FPS on all high. Microsoft Flight Simulator. I am not the best pilot. In fact, after taking off, I wrecked and died. But it only ran 20 to 30 FPS on Ultra. But take note, you can make the game perform better on a lower quality. That's pretty much it. This has been Sleeper A. So I gotta wait so I can ship it to the customer. And everything's pretty much done. Give a like if you enjoyed this video. It really would help the channel. And I'll see you guys for the next video. Peace.